I've seen a new side to TikTok the last couple of days, particularly today. Obviously, there's been breaking news concerning the young lad, but all I've seen over TikTok today is hatred and battling between different creators, and it's kind of disturbing. For the last 4 weeks, this case, like myself, has obviously consumed a lot of people. In fact, it's brought the world's attention, the media attention, to something that maybe wouldn't have done. Now, you may argue the extra attention from people online could have hindered it, or it could have helped it. I don't know. The problem is, now there does seem to be some sort of end to it. And from sources and what we're seeing and what we're hearing, it was an accident. The poor lad, for whatever reason, took a few wrong turns and tragically has ended up unalived. Now, what's come in the aftermath of that is some terrible comments, lives, TikToks about various different other creators. Now, what I would say to that is, for the last 3 or 4 weeks, everybody's been invested in all of those types of creators. They've continued the sort of rumour mill, and photographs have been, flown around the internet. I only really started making any content maybe a week and a half ago. I was consumed by watching it, like most of you. I'm a dad. I've got kids of a similar age. I had possibly 1,000 different people contact me with fake photographs, with images and videos that were probably 9 years old that they were thinking, might have been something to do with it. And I can only imagine what some of these creators that have been doing this type of thing for a number of months, their inboxes could have been like. Everybody got carried away with it. Everybody had their own theories, and everybody gave certain creators a platform and an ability to talk. Now, it gets to the stage where people's mental health are really at rock bottom. I've been in similar situations. Online hate takes its toll on creators more than you can ever imagine. It does just feel like I'm just a bloke in a field with my dog, a forest today, and you're just talking to yourself. And it takes a while to actually get you to understand that there are a lot of people out there that do listen, and we do have an influence over things. But it's so easy to get wrapped up in things that are potentially getting views, potentially making some money for certain creators. But we're all just as guilty and as responsible, because the comment sections of all of these videos would have been going crazy. People would have been coming up with theories. And in hindsight, and I always talk about hindsight being 20/20, in hindsight, maybe 90% of the things that were said, people wouldn't have said it. But in the time, in the moment, there's a press frenzy. It's very easy to get caught up into an echo chamber. I've spoken about echo chambers a lot on here. I've had my battles with flat earthers and people that don't believe the dinosaurs existed, and all kinds of stuff like that. And although everybody's open to their own, interpretation of facts and figures, it is so easy to get surrounded by people that agree with what you say, and then you start to believe that that's what the actual narrative is. If you've got 50,000 views on a video and the vast majority of the people in there are agreeing with what you say, it then becomes difficult to sometimes, aptly, see the trees from the woods, or the woods from the trees. So I've popped in and out of a few TikTok lives today, just listening. And some of the hate towards certain people and certain creators is worrying. And I know a lot of people will say, but these kind of people deserve it. Nobody deserves anything like it. The Slaters family don't deserve what they've been through. And it's difficult. But I think really the message is this will die down. Lessons will be learnt. Putting yourself out there online, as I know all too well, is not easy. It's something that does take courage. And sometimes we can say things that in the spur of the moment, as you just whip your phone out in a forest, seems like a good idea. But then in hindsight, which none of us are gifted with having as 20/20 vision, but then with hindsight you think, maybe I was a little bit too hasty to press the upload button there. Maybe I should have just double checked that photograph hasn't been posted online somewhere else 9 years ago before I go making radical claims. These mistakes will always be made, and social media just compounds it, really. But remember, behind all of these creators and whatnot, there are real people with real families and real kids, and people's home addresses, being put out there and information being leaked. Whether you agree or you disagree, it's not a great... Oh, I about fucking slipped over then. It's not a great thing. That was me trying to be all serious. I about slipped over. So, before people start going out and losing their minds over certain things, have a couple of nights sleep on it, let the dust settle, let that poor family do what they need to do, and then revisit it maybe with fresh eyes in, 48 hours or so. It's been horrendous 4 weeks, as I'm sure all of you can agree. Try and keep a level head. Loads of people have reached out and says, you seem to be the only level-headed one. Not always level-headed, of course not. But I've learnt through making mistakes that jumping to conclusions and getting wrapped up in the next new narrative is oftentimes wrong. And I've learnt the hard way on certain things like that. But we're all guilty of it. So it's been a tough one. But let's let the dust settle. These young women are clearly going to be struggling at the minute. Not just the young women. There's been probably loads of creators that have made videos and comments and done lives over the last 4 weeks that maybe in hindsight certain things wouldn't have been said. But we're only human. Everyone's human. And once that gossip train and that gossip mill gets going, as you're all aware, social media is an evil tool because it gives you what you want. It gives you those dopamine hits, those likes, those shares, those comments. And it's very addictive. And then it continues. So there are no winners in this case. The poor family, poor lad. People on here that everyone's going to say, yeah, but they've made money out of it. Yes, it's not great. It's not a great look, but there are still people behind him that in the cold light of day might have said, actually, maybe I shouldn't have said or done those things, but there wasn't ill intent there. I don't know. I'm just trying to play devil's advocate. But yeah, today's been a real eye-opener because I've not seen this side of TikTok really before. I tend to just post videos and then don't even look at the comments because I know how crazy it can get sometimes. But that's me nearly rambling on for 10 minutes. So any of you that have got to this stage, well done, because I am a boring bastard. But let's keep looking out for each other. Let's see if we can learn some lessons from this mess.